Is it a discipline problem, or do you just lack trust in yourself? Hello, Ramblers of the world. I'm Chris, the Mindset Wingman, and thank you for joining me on another Mindful Ramble, where we talk all things a mindset reset and how it aligns to our journey through life. And every journey has a story. Let's go! And today I am out rambling out in the countryside, one of my favourite happy places. Really is beautiful here today. Sun's out, and then it rains, and then the sun comes out again, and then it rains a bit more. And a bit of wind as well, just to add it into the mix. Good old Scottish weather. Not easy doing a YouTube channel as somebody who goes out walking the countryside in Scotland, because the weather can be incredibly temperamental, especially when you look at the website and it said 0% chance of rain, and you go out and it rains. Anyway, on to today's subject and the power of discipline. Now, the reason that I was thinking about this one was, if you look back on a video I did recently, I was talking about my morning routine, and I've added to that where I've started going out for a ramble or a walk every single morning first thing. So I'll get up, I will do my morning routine, and then before I do anything else after that, I go out for a walk for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm now past the first week. I've done 7 days in a row, and already I feel like I'm building it into a habit. And if I didn't do it, I really feel like I'm missing something from the day. So I'm already proving to myself that I can do it, and it really is becoming beneficial. And one of the main reasons I found it becoming beneficial, it helps with my power of discipline, because it really helps me to be disciplined in other areas where I'm disciplined in things like that. But the other thing that's really helped with is I'll get to the end of a day and I'll maybe be on about 6,000-7,000 steps, and it gets a bit frustrating because I've got other things to do, so I can't go out for a walk, I haven't got time for that, or it's got later on in the day, so I really haven't got time, and I know I'm not going to hit that 10,000, and that can frustrate me. But because I've started doing this early morning walk, then I have, before 8 o'clock even hits, 8 in the morning, I've already done 3,000, so it becomes so much easier to hit that 10,000, which removes the those frustrating thoughts which I just don't like and I try and remove from my life. So it's a great technique, highly recommended if you fancy giving that a try. I actually got influenced by somebody, a fellow coach online, and he's basically started up something he's calling the 6 a.m. walkers. So I've not quite got to the 6 a.m. stage, but I'm out by at least 7. I've definitely done it all before 8. As I said, highly recommended. Going back to the subject of today, discipline. And another reason why I was thinking about this was I was back at the gym recently, and I really noticed how much quieter it is in March, because people have all these intentions at the start of a new year. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get fitter, and then they get to the end of January or the end of February, and all those intentions just disappear as life gets busy and they return to the autopilot way of living and basically give up on that goal that they had. And that all comes down to their power of discipline and how easy it is actually to lose that. And I get it, I understand how that happens. You know, life is incredibly busy nowadays. We've got responsibilities, we've got work, your business, career, all these different things that we have to do each day, and all these goals outside our normal life can just disappear quite easily as we get lost and stuck back in our usual way of living, as I call it, back in the autopilot mindset. We are great at telling ourselves things that we want to achieve and have these great intentions that we're going to do. But then, I'll start it tomorrow, or I'll get home tonight and I'll do some work on that side hustle, whatever that might be. But then we get home and we're tired and we find any excuse not to do it, a little bit of doom scrolling, or find other jobs or tasks that we think are more important when in fact they're not at all. If you want to achieve these specific goals, you need to build a disciplined mindset to take action on them. So how do we go about doing that? Well, a couple of things I wanted to share today. The first one is not to go all in and make each action so difficult that it's actually outwith your capabilities of doing it. What to do and how to build a disciplined mindset is to make them very small. And when I mean small, so small that they're actually ridiculously easy. Because when you do that, you will find that you will do it. So for example, we'll use the gym as a good example. So instead of going, I'm going to go to the gym every day for an hour this week, just say, this week I'm going to go to the gym twice and I'm going to go for 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and that's it. Just cut it right down. And if you think about that now, 1 hour 5 days in a row, or half an hour twice a week, which are you more likely to do? Obviously the first one. But what will happen then is that will then build momentum, and you can then start to increase that. So you can start small and then you can slowly build it bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the first one. To build a disciplined mindset, start small. One very important factor to remember is, every time that you do break a promise to yourself, your brain is watching and it's thinking, this is the person that I am. I am somebody that talks well and says I'll do this, that, and the next thing, but I never actually follow through. So your brain is building that identity. And then when you do try and push yourself and you start to try and take these actions, your mind tries to pull you back to this safety net, saying, no, that's not the person you are. That's not the kind of person you are. So stop and just go back to the nice, comfortable autopilot way of living. And unfortunately, doing that, you will never achieve those things that you truly want to achieve in your life. And it's why discipline can become so hard, because you've trained your brain that way. You've basically trained your brain not to trust you. And when you do follow through and complete something, one of these actions, document it, write it down. So when you do, and you will, find yourself shifting back to that autopilot way of living, you've got something to reference. You can go back and prove to yourself, no, I've done it before in the past and I can bloody well do it again, so I'm going to. And those moments when that you do slip up and you don't do what you told yourself that you would do, don't get frustrated, don't get angry at yourself, because that'll just make it 10 times worse. What you can do is forgive yourself for slipping up once, but just don't do it a second time. Okay, so for example, use the gym again. So you planned to go to the gym Monday and you couldn't go. That's fine, not a problem. Just make sure tomorrow, Tuesday, you do go. Okay? And that is important, really important factor to remember. Don't get frustrated at yourself for missing once. Forgive yourself and just make sure next time you don't slip up again. And then one other final technique, tool to use, is when you do start becoming more disciplined and you do consistently start taking these actions that you promised yourself you would, people might start trying to pull you back. Now, this is more because of their lack of discipline and because they don't trust themselves to follow through. So they want to pull you back to their level. So be very careful of that. You'll start getting comments like, mate, you're doing too much, or slow down, or take a day off, all this kind of stuff, because that's what they do. And they don't like to see other people progressing and making those positive moves forward. So just be really, really careful of that, and careful of the people that you are surrounded by when you're trying to live a more disciplined life. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who will never have that power of discipline, and they don't want to see other people succeeding either, and they will try and stop you. So discipline comes down to being consistent, to being predictable, and actually following through. And it's not easy, and in the beginning it will be difficult, but if you keep going and keep going, you can build that disciplined mindset that you really want. And there's no need to announce it to the world either. You can do it quietly, you can do it at your own pace. It might take 6 months, it might take 12 months, it might take 2 years. But the thing is not to give up, even when you have the odd slip up or challenge that appears in your life. Just keep going. Now I'm going to slowly walk here. As you can hear probably in the background, some geese. Hello there, how are you? Don't chase me. Actually look like quite friendly geese. No, there's more up here. I wonder if this is the nesting season or something. There's quite a few down here. I've not seen them around here before. They're normally all beside, see the river, beside the wee loch there. They're normally all there. But they seem to be down here just now. There's some more. Hello. Right, I'll just leave them to it. So as I said, if you keep going, you will shift your identity. You'll have more focus, more resilience, and more self-respect. And instead of wishing I was that disciplined guy, or you're seeing these people online and you wish you were as disciplined as them, you will become that person, and you will be that person who is disciplined. That's how to do it. And you will create a disciplined mindset, and you will be able to call on that power of your own discipline whenever you need it. So let's just finish with this question. What is one promise that you have been breaking recently that ends today? I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As always, if you could subscribe, like, comment and share, it really does help me build this channel bigger and better. And I am going to go off and enjoy the rest of this ramble, keeping a very watchful eye on these geese as I stroll past. And I'll see you all again next time for another Mindful Ramble. And if there is anything that you would like me to create content on when it comes to mindset reset and how it aligns to our journey through life, please comment, please share. I would love to create some content that is really beneficial to all of you. See you next time. Onwards and upwards.